Good evening to you. Good evening to everyone. And my name is Alex, and today with you, I will try to understand a little bit more about such mysterious country like France. To be honest, it is not so mysterious country as I said right now because you can find plenty of information about France. Example, you can find a lot of documentaries, videos about history. France has a huge influence on entire world, and when I'm thinking about France, I'm thinking at first about baguette. It is buns, quite long ones, and also I'm thinking about Eiffel Tower, and at the same time I'm thinking about French Revolution. Yes, I'm sure that a lot of you, something is telling to me that you heard about France, not just heard, but even visited, and some of you even know French. And yes, it is amazing. Thank you to you a lot, Lisa Marshall. Hello, Alex. The best website to research properties in France is Silager.com website. And to be honest, I already opened this site on research because of your recommendation, Lisa. Thank you a lot. I already opened and I've already seen in front of me some prices. And I was looking prices in Paris. It is crazy, and I mean like quite expensive there, their prices. And yes, what we will do today, we will look some properties, how expensive it is to buy uh, in France property or other stuff. We will talk about economy, we will look on population, biggest cities, also we will look on GDP, and because France is quite huge country, I mean like any country, to be honest, one live stream for one country, it sounds a little bit crazy, but I mean like too little. And I believe that in future I will be able to do with you another live stream someday about lives about France. But at this moment, let's start our live stream by giving likes, thumbs up. It will be amazing, and your comments always important. I see already last one, and thank you for your messages. And yes, as I said before, economy, it is one of the side what we will talk about today about France. I do not know any anything that you can you like any words which you can use in French except bonjour. Probably I think I did mistake anyway, but I know that some of you know French, and I'm talking about you, Samsq. I'm happy that you're feeling better, and I'm happy that Lisa Marshall, you're feeling better too, because I'm wishing to all of our community, to supporters of our channels, let's say like this, Alex Life and My English World. I'm wishing you not only, yeah, I'm wishing you to feel amazing, to be healthy, to be yourself. And yes, with such positive note, let's start our journey. What we will do. And yes, at the beginning, I want to thank you, Sam Smith Q, because on Amazon wishlist I had Netgear. Netgear, it is expensive, quite cool thing, which I received, which Sam Smith Q bought for me, and I will receive this soon. It will help me to improve quality of live streams when I will be outside, and I will show this Netgear when we will do live stream outside somewhere in Houston. Example, we will go to the park and I will have with me this little hotspot router. Thank you a lot. Thank you. It is crazy, crazy kind from you, Sam Smith Q. And yes, let's go. Let's jump into topic. And for this, I need to show you my screen to share with you. Yes. Yeah, you can see I already was looking on this website which Lisa Marshall kindly gave to me to us in this community chat. But we will start, to be honest, from video. Oh, no, sorry, not from video, from statistics. Statistics, I already opened couple things which you can find, and we will start from GDP. And there was dramatic changes. At this moment, France has $2.5 trillion. It is in trillion GDP, and we can see there was enormous changes. Yes, it is GDP annual growth. It is not. It is GDP to percentage. It is percentage. Sorry. Annual growth of GDP 2.5. In 2020, there was enormous like changes in France. Interesting what's happened there. Probably results of COVID and policy of COVID. And we know, maybe you know, at this moment France has new prime minister. And I received from my YouTuber friend Artyom some information from that's in France. That's how I found about new prime minister in France. That in Russia they're using kind of propaganda against this new prime minister because they do not want to talk openly about his sexual orientation. And in one of the program, which is named Вести недели, or News of the Week, famous Russian propagandist, he was talking about new prime minister, Atlas, if I'm correct, his name. And they were talking about that his ancestors, he has ancestors from some rulers of Russia, like Rurikhovich. Rurikhovich, it is a last name of rulers of Russia who was in family like hundreds years ago, nearly thousands. And yes, I was shocked by such news. They were talking about his ancestors, that he's kind of like a Russian, was his family came from Russia. And it was interesting thing. Again, I didn't look about this properly, but it would be nice to find out. Maybe you've heard something about new prime minister, interesting information about his ancestors. But in Russia, they're talking that he's kind of a guy who came, yeah. But at the same time, they're trying to avoid mention, like, they're not avoiding. They're on purpose talking about his sexual orientation as something bad. Okay, it is Russia, what did I expect? But today we are talking about France. They're like, come on. It is modern world. It is, of course, they're using this in propaganda. Anyway, what we can see about France. And let's look that growth was kind of good for during these years, except 2020 and 29. 2009. During these years, it was minus growth in France. We can see also, in Afghanistan, most recent value minus 20. Wow, maybe we should look more about Afghanistan. It looks like they had a lot of troubles in economy. Anyway, France GDP. We can see 2.9 trillions. We can also see that Germany has much higher GDP. And it's interesting that population of France 67.7 million people. I have these statistics, but in this worldometer they have 65 million people. Interesting, different resources, different information. Anyway, what I believe, we can trust that in 90s population was 56 million example, and we can see slight but growth, steady growth in population. And of course we know about immigration policy in France, we know about policy of government of supporting family. They have interesting programs there too. And example, this new prime minister, he is supported also by conservatives. It looks like I will, despite that he's definitely liberal, but you can find that conservatives supporting him too. And it's very interesting, unique situation when open gay person, guy, man, let's say man, he became prime minister of France. It is amazing. I think it is amazing news. And here we can see early population growth. In 2021, population growth of France was 0.08, quite low, but then it became growing a little bit better. But still, it looks like in 2024 it will be 0.2%, quite low population growth. Let's be honest. Majority of people, we can see, but at least it is a plus. It is already good, showing about slow, maximum for during last decades it was 2006 yearly growth rate 0.7. Let's summarize like 7. Anyway, okay. What can we tell also? What I prepared for us? When we are talking about France, I've heard many times about Paris. Paris, it is a big city and probably one city which I know in France. I never visited this country before. That's why for me it was interesting to find out what cities you can find, biggest cities you can find in France. And here we are. You can find obviously Paris, has population 2.1 million people. Relatively small, to be honest, city, because 2 million people for capital, for Paris, I mean, they have much more tourists than local people. It looks like this because I've heard several times in statistics I saw majority of people who is visiting France, they go immediately to look Paris because of architecture, Renaissance era, and that's one of the reasons. But Marseille, maybe Marseille, I hope that you can, let's show this. City has 870,000 people. 870,000. On third place we can find Lyon, 522. Oh, we have new subscriber and he is working on these numbers of our French cities. Thank you for subscription. It is very kind from you and very thoughtful, because in future we will talk a lot about different countries and cultures, and I'm doing this, I want to remind to those who joined only now, I'm doing this because in future I want to study in program political science, and I think it is fascinating to know some information about other cultures. Okay, Lyon, 522,000. Toulouse, have no idea what this city, how to pronounce this city. City Nice. Wow, they have nice city. Because it is named Nice, and it has 343,000. Lille, 236. Yes, I think that you can see, if you have screen in front of you, these statistics, and again this information from website which is named Statista. I'm using pretty often this website. Hope that obviously changes happening every time, every day, every year, but if I'm thinking that for first look it is good. I mean, first look it is kind of good to understand at least a little bit. What I want to look now, this nice city. Nice city, France. I want to look on this city by using Google. Just dive into this and to understand a little bit how looks nice city in France. Because attractive Paris, probably everyone heard about Paris and everyone saw Paris at least on pictures or somewhere, I don't know. But nice city. How we will do this? Oops. Let's jump. Yes, we will walk a little bit around Fort du Mont Alban. Have no idea what a Old Nice. You can find district which is named Old Nice. Let's go to Old Nice. Oh, they have so many to this Old Nice, because in these districts probably they have amazing architecture, and I was completely correct. It looks very, very this architecture. Oops, I close this. Let's return to Old City. Yes, looks like France. No more, no less. Everything exotic. They have these amazing small streets, pretty close streets to each other, and gosh, it looks so authentic. It looks so it's stylish. Yes, I am sure that some of you was in France. Please tell you what is your experience was like, because I never was there, and it looks very fascinating. And somehow I I was thinking I'm inside of the store, but no, I'm not inside. It's just so gosh, so narrow streets. Yeah, so narrow streets. Yes, probably I cannot go to another place, but I will be able to go. I want to go to somewhere not in the center. It would be nice, like somewhere here. And it's still what? It is looks like suburb area where people live. Where people live, they have their townhouses, apartments, whatever, and outside they are parking their cars, leaving their cars. And I believe that we will look today a little bit more also about how many about temperatures. People just sitting here, eating outside. Quite nice. Nothing to say. Really nice. And they have these trails for these trams. You can see in Houston, you can find such trams. Where is it? It disappeared. Yes, here we are. No, it is bus lane. Maybe I need to return to show you this train. Yes, here we are. It reminds me trains in Houston, in the center of Houston or some areas. You can find some of them. What can I tell you? I, at this moment, trying to save money for car, and you can support by giving your donations there. Here in Houston, it is impossible to survive without car. I mean, like possible, but still, it is more convenient to have car because. But what I'm talking about, it looks nice. I like these trees. It looks stylish, definitely clean, and we will look today about prices for apartments in city which is called Nice city of France, and also a little bit in France, in Paris, sorry. But as for now, let's jump immediately. I think for introduction, we understood population. I said before 60. Sorry. I said before 64 million people. Yes, 67, sorry, million people. We know GDP, we know population, we know also growth in population and growth in GDP. We looked this information, we looked a little bit in a nice city, and we did something else. But right now let's jump into video. Let's look. This video was made not so far ago, like 2 years ago, has more than 500,000 views from channel Economic Raven, because we can see this Raven, he has this coin in his pack. Yes. Nice pronounced knees. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, because I was wondering about pronunciation. I saw this nice, and I'm like knees. I never like. I know. I was not wondering. I was wondering about other words. About nice, I didn't have any like suspicions that it can be pronounced differently, because it is strange. Like Nice. Nice. Something interesting. Okay, let's go. One moment. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate your help. And prepare coffee, tea, juice. And what is traditional alcoholic drink in France? Do you have any idea? I have no idea. I know they like to eat bakery stuff. And they have these mustaches. Of course, I'm talking stereotypically. In political science, it's better not to use stereotypical thinking. I was just trying to joke. And if you're from France and do not appreciate my way of joking, sorry. But it is just stereotypes. In political science, people should use facts, not rumors. Okay, let's go.
Bonjour!
Bonjour.
France, the country known for crispy crusted baguette, saying ooh la la a lot, Tour de France, Notre Dame Cathedral, Eiffel Tower, the third biggest economy of Europe and as the seventh largest economy in the world by GDP. If you are French, the place to write ooh la la is in the comments section below. The country's economy has four major components: immensely strong businesses, immensely strong trade unions, immensely strong government, and last but not least, immensely strong people. These four constantly oppose and negotiate with each other.
Ooh la la. Let's jump into this phrase. Ooh la la. What is it? He said this seriously? It is like greetings? What is this? Because I'm not understanding. At first I was thinking he was joking, but no. Probably it is ooh la la something in France phrase. We can see ooh la la, a little bit different. And we can see in front of us such amazing explanation. A phrase originally from France, used for showing surprise, admiration, or excitement about something, especially when referring to something that is connected with France or French people, or when something of a sexual nature is involved. What? Someone actually said ooh la la when they saw his new barbecue. Gosh. French people, they have definitely own traditions. And I never heard about ooh la la. Really, never. Okay. If in Texas people using yee-haw, in France people using ooh la la. I understood. When people have this excitement, admiration in different situations. It depends from context, of course. Even in sexual nature, of a sexual nature is involved. Okay. We will not involve sexual nature in our live stream. But I want to tell you. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Yes. Okay, let's go.
Each other, but somehow sort of managed to make it work. Due to their constant opposition, any real long-term changes happen slowly, but the government, trade unions, businesses, and the people do share common grounds. The people of France have a free education, a 35-hour work week, 6 weeks annual vacation, paid parental leave, retirement at age 62, an attractive welfare safety net, and a free universal healthcare system declared the best by the World Health.
One moment. there was protest. This video was made in 2 years ago. For 2 years can change a lot. Example, Russia can attack country, and Russia changed the retirement age. Interesting about France, I've heard they had this, they changed the retirement age. Let's check this information because I do not want to have speculations about this. But France, age retirement in France. Wow. We can see such gosh, what is it? Statutory retirement age. Between 62 and 64. 1968, like a 64. Once a claimant has reached 67, their pension will be calculated at the full rate regardless of how many quarters they have accrued. Accrue? What? And there you can see how they're calculating pensions. But still, let's check. Yes, between 62 and 64. China, the retirement age is it 60 for men, 55 for women. For women in Russia before, 55 for men, 65. Right now they change. No, it was before, if I'm correct. Retirement in Russia. Let's check. Right now, there was protests in Russia about retirement. Pension age of 62 years for men and 57 years for women. Some categories of citizens qualify for early old age pensions for persons holding public office. Okay. But before, for women was 55 and for men was 60 in Russia. Right now they changed this. Yeah, they changed this in 2018 while there was Olympic Games. Yes, if I'm correct. Yeah, it is interesting to compare with other countries that you can compare, like Russia 57 for women. Yeah, in France from 62 to 64. Okay, interesting. Let's go.
Health Organization. But these benefits didn't just fall from the sky. These rights were fought for by the people over the years. You may have heard about the French always on strike. French, while not completely saints, do not go on strikes as much as other countries. In fact, a lot less than how it's projected in the media. But the reason this stereotype exists is that when they do go on a strike, they make it very visible. Whether farmers and tractors dumping vegetables in front of the French parliament, or truckers driving at a snail's pace to halt major roads, or wearing the yellow vest making it a movement, French protests are vibrant and they make it heard.
Yes, so they for sure can make themselves heard because they can show this clearly. I saw many videos like they were using real poops and putting this on the square in front of buildings of governments. That's how they were trying to show government that they dislike policy towards farmers and etc., or some laws, etc., etc. And I saw this and I was like, gosh. And of course, about yellow jackets movement, I think that everyone heard about this, and it was clear message, clear color, and clear yeah, interesting, very interesting. While we are talking about this, let's look on new I was trying new prime minister minister of France. We will watch short to medium to level Gabriel Attal. Yes. Why I want to watch already? Oh, sorry. Yes, I already told you before that in France they have new prime minister. As for me, it is interesting that he is open gay. Number one, it is very important because he's first prime minister who is open gay. Also, in Russia, people in Russian, as I said before, in Russian propaganda, which is named Вести недели, news of the week, famous Russian propagandist, he was talking about Attal, about this new prime minister, and he was talking that his ancestors in the Russian media forcing this like his ancestors from Rurikhovich, from old ruling elites, rulers of Russia. I will try to find this article today with you.
Gabriel Attal has been named as France's youngest ever prime minister. This announcement comes as President Emmanuel Macron seeks a fresh start for the rest of his term amid growing political pressure. Attal, who is 34 years old, rose to prominence as the government spokesperson and education minister. He is France's first openly gay prime minister. His predecessor resigned Monday following recent political turmoil over an immigration law that strengthens the government's ability to deport foreigners.
Je pense que de toute manière, c'est lui qui décide de tout, Emmanuel Macron. Donc évidemment, après, il prend Gabriel.
Maybe I should move myself a little bit up to see comments.
Attal, il est idéal parce qu'il est jeune, il est un ministre complètement dédié à son président, donc idéalement, il rentre bien dans le cadre. Après, le remaniement, qu'est-ce que ça change pour nous? Personnellement, pas grand-chose. Hein. On subit ça, on regarde ce qui se passe, on attend les grandes annonces de Macron, mais bon, je ne suis pas spécialement macronienne, comme vous avez pu le constater.
Non, c'est jamais trop jeune. Quand c'est efficace, c'est jamais trop jeune. Ce qui fait peur, c'est que ce soit un mini Macron, et ça...
His mini Macron.
Il a un peu un profil, je dirais pas similaire à celui d'Emmanuel Macron, mais il a une jeunesse qui peut convaincre aussi. Après, on a vu que ce qui avait été présenté parmi ses engagements n'a pas été forcément mis en place. Cette jeunesse n'est pas forcément synonyme de grande révolution, en tout cas dans les institutions.
Son incompétence est plus gênante que son homosexualité ou n'importe quelle sexualité. Voilà. Mais de toute façon, ce gouvernement est assez fantoche, puisque de toute façon, on passe d'un sujet à l'autre sans vraiment de continuité entre les sujets. Donc,
can you imagine to become prime minister when you're 34? He joined to his political party. I was watching today a little video at age of 17. From age of 17, he already joined to his political party. 17. Yeah, what does it mean? Like 13 plus. For 17 years of his life, he's in 17 years of his life, he's in politics. Yeah.
Et d'autres. Mais c'est bien, voilà, c'est un jeune homosexuel. On va dire que ça, c'est vraiment les deux points qui sont, voilà, c'est une petite originalité. Mais ça aurait pu être quelqu'un avec des cheveux rouges, ça aurait été pareil.
Je trouve que c'est très bien d'avoir un jeune.
Pourquoi?
Parce que c'est une conception différente, c'est plus dynamique.
Dynamique.
Puis il est dans le vent, il est dans l'air du temps. Que un vieux comme moi, je suis plus dans l'air du temps. Voilà.
Yeah, you can see what's happened, and now I will try to find a task, like Russian news. Mini. Something like this. This website is named Euro Royals, and here we can translate this website into English. Russian ancestors with, and it is like people talking about this in propaganda. Russian ancestors of the Prime Minister of France. The new Prime Minister of France, Gabriel Attal, is Orthodox. His mother is Marie de Curies. Russian blood flows in his veins, including Rurikovich and Gedymovich. The first Count Oslofiev, in his old age, became Vasily Dmitrievich, 1796-1859, a wealthy landowner, participated in the war of 1812. Moscow civil governor, chief. Okay. What we are talking about here is important, this Rurikovich. I want to show you. We can see here you can find information. I want to look this in Russian probably. It's easier for me to look in Russian, sorry. Yeah, one moment. Sorry, I want to look, and then yeah, okay, understood. It was Kievan Rus in 1362. They were hundreds years ago. They were rulers of Russia. That's what I wanted to show to you. And because he had this history and connection, his ancestors were rulers of Russia and Ukraine, Kievan Rus, all these little kingdoms which were on this territory. And that's why people were using his name in propaganda. Right now he's living in France and he's Prime Minister of France. But at the same time, in Russian propaganda, they were using his sexuality as something offensive. Of course, it is Russian propaganda. What can you tell? Yeah, but by itself, it is interesting. It is interesting, information. It is given to this situation a little bit more interest. Yes, at least for me, as for Russian, because you can find that for people, is so sometimes important this bloodline, something like this, because you can find also some royal families. They were all Europe were kind of mixed together, and here we are, Prime Minister of France. He has ancestors from Russia. Crazy. And to be honest, I doubt that in France people making from this big deal. I do not believe that it is important. But in Russia, they're using this in propaganda for sure. Because how they... Yeah, it is... But interesting thing. I see here messages. Hello to Sam Nonia. It's nice to see you. Hello to Heather, Lisa Marshall. And hello to everyone who joined only now. Yes, let's go.
And somehow it seems to work for France. This French spirit cannot be understood without maybe understanding the French Revolution, of which we won't go into the details because it was messy and bloody, except for concluding that despite fine wines, delicious cuisine, high fashion, and hundreds of different cheeses to choose from, the French are les misérables.
The most important
revolution,
cheese.
Fighting for their rights, and the soul of Napoleon Bonaparte lives in them. Or, as they say, France is a paradise inhabited by people who believe they're in hell. While the French have a lot to be grateful for, not everything in France is ooh la la, and one of the things is high unemployment rates.
Ooh la la. Yes, he said about unemployment rates, and it would be nice to look for... he will talk about this now. Yeah.
The topic of the French economy goes untouched without talking about its high unemployment rate. More importantly, unemployment among young individuals. While it's not as bad as some of the other countries like Spain and Greece, it's still one of the highest in the European Union and among the nations that are described as developed. It is to be noted that the unemployment rate in France is different from other countries because it does not include mini-jobs, unpaid work, etc., which is the sort of data used by many other countries to inflate employment numbers. That being said, France struggles with a structural unemployment issue.
Yes, let's look more closely. In 90s, it was quite insane. 12% average. Through all 90s. 12, 59, 11.84. Gosh, it was quite... Right now, in 2020... 4 years ago, 8.43%. Still quite interesting. The lowest it was in 2008, 7%. Interesting. Exactly this time in 2000s in France there was low economical growth. We could see this by looking on GDP growth. It was a kind of trouble time in 2009 especially. Yeah, interesting.
The total unemployment rate has not fallen below 7% in over 3 decades. On the other hand, the employment rate, which is a measure of the extent to which available labor is used, is around 65%. This rate is lower than the OECD average of 67%.
Yes, we can see these statistics and compare with other countries. And hello to Sam Smith Q, happy to see you too. And today, Sam Smith Q, we are talking about France, and I'm grateful that you bought for me Netgear. I appreciate your support because this Netgear I will use for improving quality of live streams when I will do them outside. It was cost, god damn it, sorry, a lot, $1,000. Oh my gosh, you're very, very kind towards my English World channel, towards Alex Life, and personally to you're kind to me, let's be honest. And it is good investment for channels. Yeah, I appreciate your support. And let's look for more unemployment rate, because last statistics we see here, it was 2020 in France. I want to look in 2023. Unemployment rate. Oh, I was using Russian. Yes. We can see in 2022 it was 745. 745. Still, how like he said in this video, it was never lower than 7% for last 3 decades. Interesting how they're calculating this. Interesting. Okay.
Compare this to their neighbor Germany. That uses over 75% of the people available to work. This means the social security net responsible for helping the unemployment is powered by a smaller proportion of the population. In other words, a high number of people are not contributing to the economy while using the public benefits. There are multiple reasons behind the unemployment issue. We will discuss 4 of the major ones. French work fewer hours compared to other countries, 35 hours a week. The minimum wage in France is €1,554, which is one of the top 5 in the world if we ignore the micronations.
How looks it? It looks amazing. Today we will watch for prices in France for apartments. And why I have these pictures in front of us, I want to look for maybe a little bit later, because we will definitely look for prices, because Lisa Marshall gave to us interesting website which we will use. And from above on the top, they definitely, it looks like they have standards towards some buildings, because all of them on these pictures, they have red roofs. I believe it means something. Example that they have the standards, example, just suggestion. They have standards towards keeping historical buildings in good condition. Maybe we will be able to find something. Why in France all roofs are red, blue and red, white, and example here. Further east, roofers use both over and under tiles, as well as plain tiles, interlocking tiles. They have dominated colors: red, dark red, brown, and even black at altitude. In different traditionally local variations is red, and only depending on amount of calcium in the clay. But there is variations of brown and gray, also depending on oxygen reduction in the burning process. Traditionally, it's just happened probably traditionally. I do not see here any specific explanation, just word traditionally. An example, in Primorsky region, last years when I was living there, they were doing, how to say, repairings of old, of roofs, of old Soviet buildings. And if you will look on top of these buildings, you will see that color of these roofs usually green. Can you understand? Green or red. In example, in Arsenyev, where I was living, just compare this to in Arsenyev, small town of Primorsky region, far east of Russia. It depends also, of course, from region, I believe, and it depends from companies which doing these repairing works. But yes, it is interesting.
There has always been a correlation between minimum wage and the unemployment rate. In simple words, when wages are low, businesses hire more people. When wages are high, businesses pull back and hire fewer employees. High employment or high wages? Which one is better? Well, you decide. This sounds like a trade-off. When you fix one thing, the other becomes a problem.
Here you can see gray, specifically gray color, and green a little bit, sometimes red. Probably they, in cities, it depends from cities. Probably they have kind of local committee in bill, I don't know, and they're like, okay, or companies, and they're like, okay, we want a city look like this, and it makes sense. Majority of these buildings have gray color roofs.
But can we have the best of both worlds? Now, you can't just lower the minimum wage to fix the unemployment issue. Why? Because there would be protests, and in France, there would be an even bigger protest, stronger than the head of Zinedine Zidane. In short, once you give something to the citizen, you can't just take it away. And that's true for any country in the world. So our question is unemployment really an issue? Because it seems like, intentionally or unintentionally, France has chosen to keep the wages high compared to having more workers employed. Another perspective to ignore the high minimum wage is its relation to the cost of living, which is different in every country. France is no Switzerland or Norway when it comes to the cost of living, but it's still in the top 20 list. So lowering the wage is a big no, as well as comparing wages of different countries. Another factor for the high unemployment rate is related to the education sector that produces more graduates in fields, the arts and social sciences, that are not in sync with the job market.
Yeah, it is always important, of course, to see how it is have connection with job market, education. And in our situation, let's look for average salary in France. It looks like 2,300 euros per month. In dollars, let's look in dollars. $45,500. It is average, like 49 average. Yes, it is $45,000 per year. Per year. Interesting. Yes, you can see this. France, $45,000, maybe 46 max. Like, okay. but it means also that cost of living, how this guy told to us, it is a little bit lower than example in Switzerland or some northern European countries of Europe, because usually northern Europe or Germany, they're definitely a cost of living higher than in France.
Although this factor is true in many developed nations and has not been raised as an issue yet. The third factor is the employment tax. It is common sense that if you have to discourage something, you put high taxes on it. That's why stuff like cigarettes have high taxes on it. But why would you put high taxes on employment? France has one of the highest payroll taxes in the world.
France has highest payment taxes in the world, and we can see here Chile, it is like 8%. Do we have here the USA? United States, we have here United States, it is like 30% taxes. It is like maybe average, because it depends from employment, like okay, close to 40%. Gosh, it is a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. And you can see red, it is income tax, green upgrade is employee, SSC, employer SSC, okay. It is means tax.
Employers pay a big chunk of these taxes compared to employees, which directly impacts the job market, as employers need to figure out how many employees they can hire based on the cash available. While you certainly can argue that this money goes to support healthcare and retirement benefits, taxing employment is still ridiculous while complaining about the high unemployment rate in the country. The fourth factor is strong labor laws, which no doubt have their benefits. It's difficult to fire people, so the businesses make it difficult to hire them in the first place. Businesses hire only if it's absolutely necessary, and there is no way around it. Once you are hired, there are limited working hours and long lunch breaks that results in limited output compared to what they could have produced otherwise. But the French believe in joie de vivre, and that's the choice they're comfortable with. If you sum up all these factors, it's still less of a problem for big corporations.
It was cute. Joie de vivre. Hello, Jen Holder. Happy to see you. You said hi, everyone. Hi to you too. It's nice to see you, Jen. It was nice what he did.
Comfortable with. If you sum up all these factors, it's still less of a problem for big corporations compared to small businesses. Small businesses hesitate to create new jobs to avoid considerable penalties for laying off any employees. They are turned towards other options that include outsourcing work to foreign entities or resort to offering temporary contracts instead of full-time employment. Although only a little above 10% of the employees are members of unions, they do have too much power. This makes the governments of any political leaning give in to the union demands to keep the popularity and stability. The country has taken some reforms in recent years by lowering the tax burden on businesses, but it will take a few years to see any significant results.
Yeah. Okay. Advertisement. Advertisement. I need to change country. I don't know how to do this now yet.
The French economy is robust in many sectors, including aerospace, automotive, railways, power generation, defense, as well as cosmetics, luxury goods, pharmaceuticals, agriculture, and hospitality. France has a complete economy. From satellites to nukes and submarines, from planes to cars, from ships to trains, the French economy is diverse enough to produce almost anything it wants to with resources in hand. Only a handful of other countries can profess this capability. France is the 5th largest exporter country in the world.
And here we can see this ranking in million of dollars. France exports in like $891 million of goods, and GDP it is like 31% of GDP, close to 32. It was on 2019. Okay. Yeah, it is interesting.
The country sits high on the innovation index and has the fourth
Like the USA, you can see comparing, like USA has 2.5 trillions. France has like 3 times less, close to this, but we know that population of France 67 millions of people, 67 millions. Population of the USA 350 millions, something like this. It's interesting comparison, and yeah, it is good number of facts, like quite developed.
The country sits high on the innovation index and has the 4th highest number of Nobel Prize winners. When talking about the economic drivers in France, you stumble upon what's called dirigism, which is not just regulatory or minimum intervention, but a more directive role by the state. It has been the country's biggest strength as well as its biggest weakness. The government's directive role in the economy is more regulatory than post-Reagan America and post-Thatcher Britain. France may not be the #1 by tourist spending, but it's the most visited country in the world.
Yeah.
The travel and tourism sector contributes nearly 10% of the total GDP, but it's one of the most important sectors as it creates a soft image of the country. The influx of tourists is also of great importance for the French luxury market that has a huge fan base among Americans and Chinese tourists buying those fancy designer bags and footwear labeled Made in France.
Yeah.
The charm of the City of Lights, Paris, makes your social media profiles look good with those dreamy photos. If you don't mind the cold-shouldered French waiters, tourism also contributes to the food industry, including the snails and the popular or not-so-popular frog's legs. The culture, the fashion, and the landscape has earned France an international repute as the world's most popular tourist destination. France has not recorded a current account surplus in over a decade. The country has been witnessing a current account deficit since 2006, which means the country spends more on imports than it receives on exports. More simply, there is more money going out of the country than there is coming in. France has a high debt that was nearly the same as their total GDP, although it went even.
Yeah, I think that this problem with financial, same in Russia, there are more going countries outside from Russia because from like than inside. It was problem even before sanctions and before war with Ukraine. Russia had such problem, and it is talking about that right now with Russia. No, like it is not so. People do not want to invest in Russia at all. In France, I didn't know that they have such kind of problem. Maybe they have different reasons. Interesting.
Higher during the COVID pandemic, crossing 115% of the total GDP. One of the reasons for this debt is government spending. The country's government spends a lot. Like a lot. The government of France is the biggest spender of money among OECD's 37 member countries. This debt is made possible.
One moment, I want to see. You can see even Costa Rica here, Korea, United Kingdom, France, yes, on the top. Okay.
Possible with the lower interest rate, which is okay for now, but it could get stinky in the future. More than the stinkiest French cheese. A good case can be made for the presence of economic nationalism in France. Their innate capacity to support local products. The industries like AXA, Renault, BNP, etc. are closely interlaced into politics. Foreign companies trying to compete with these industries have a difficult time getting into the same market. France has historically higher corporate tax rates. The high corporate taxes was one of the many reasons for high unemployment, as the businesses ended up exporting the jobs, outsourcing manufacturing to low-wage countries, and offshoring. But in the last few years, they have managed to lower the taxes on businesses to make the economy more business-friendly. France, being a member state of the European Union, struggles against competitive markets offering high-quality products like Germany. On the other hand, Eastern and Southern European countries compete against the country with lower prices.
Yeah,
While French companies are facing issues to gain market share internationally and somewhat struggling with competitiveness, the country has seen an increase in foreign direct investment in recent years that makes it a more feasible place for foreign companies to do business.
Yeah.
The country's energy demand is primarily fulfilled by nuclear energy that accounts for above 3/4 of the total electricity consumption. Heavily focused on the nuclear energy sector makes it one of the smallest carbon emitters among the top industrialized countries. France is the third largest weapon exporters in the world. The country has received criticism for selling weapons to war-torn regions which have witnessed human rights abuses.
Yeah.
France, despite having no gold mines, has the fourth biggest gold reserves in the world. The Bank of...
One moment. They have gold? Who said word gold? Gold holdings. Russia number 5, United States number 1, Germany number 3, Italy, France, Russia. Okay, China number 6. It is interesting that China number 6, but we know that population of China quite huge. India number 9. Wow.
Fourth biggest gold reserves in the world. The Bank of France also stores gold in Paris as a custodian on behalf of other central banks. The country has also been accused of obtaining some of its gold reserves and wealth from the African countries it had colonized. As discussed earlier, the legal length of the working week in France is 35 hours, but before you call the French lazy, you should know that they are highly productive. According to the data by the OECD, France seems to compete quite well and even beat some other countries when it comes to GDP per hour worked. Although a counterclaim to this argument could be that France has fewer people hired from the total number of people available to work, so they are just using the most productive people. But this is an endless debate with tons of different arguments. But you could certainly deduce that the French are not as lazy as it looks to the outside world. It could have something to do with how they value the quality of life. There is a French proverb too that says, "If working hard made you rich, donkeys would be covered in gold."
Yeah.
While the economy of France has its issues, and it's not perfect like anything else in life, France has a lot to be grateful for. If we ignore the people's general pessimism and the passion for complaining, France and its economy are quite ooh-la-la.
Ooh-la-la.
We hope you have enjoyed the video. We would
yes, I enjoyed this video, and it was really interesting for me to watch. And right now I want to look with you about prices for apartments. It will be last part of our live stream. I will use this website which is named, one moment, how it's named, one moment. Okay. Yes, I found this link which I have in front of me. It is named SEO Logger, something like this. We will watch right now a little bit prices on apartments in France, and we will look in Paris and in Nice city. How Heather corrected me. Thank you for this correction. And before we will start, do not forget about your lesson. Just to look. Example, we have 535,000 euros. This is from City France. Okay. Here we can see how it looks, these apartments. Quite expensive, I want to tell you, because $500,000, gosh. And what you will have here for such price? It looks like one space apartment. No, very strange, very strange. I think that for $500,000 such apartment, probably it is all because of location and the historical places. It how looks kitchen. it is very nice looking kitchen. A strange looking kitchen ever for $500,000. But I like how looks at least bathroom. It looks unusual. Yes. It's very unusual. Hello, last one. Hello, happy to see you too. It's amazing to see you as always. Another apartment which we can see, it is on 30% less, 355 square meters. But the most interesting that 355,000 euros. But the most interesting that it is 40 square meters, like not so. It is not so small apart, like comparatively to previous apartment. It looks even more cozy, by my opinion. It is like one bedroom apartment, but you have even a bedroom, kitchen, amazingly look kitchen, and that's how looks bedroom. Very stylish, I would say, and little bit empty because maybe like I don't know, they decided to give you opportunity to do whatever you want to do. Yes, interesting. And here you can see you find even plan. Entry, it is entrance. Chamber, it is probably bedroom. Cuisine, looks like it is chicken. Gosh. Kitchen, chicken kitchen. Oh my god, chicken. Of course, kitchen. And they have even little balcony. It is like 2.84 meters. Like example, if you have such apartment to live, I mean like 45, 50 square meter, okay, max, like not maximum, 60 square meters, 45 square. For one person such apartment to have, it is amazing. For two persons, it will be a little bit, if you have relationships, it is, yeah, you can, even two, with couple, with someone to live. Yeah. And to have your cat there, it is amazing. But also I wanted to look apartments in a city which was named not Paris but Nice, like N-I-S-E. I hope that I did this correctly. Applier. Yeah. What the interesting thing happened? I need to delete. No. Like this. And here we are, prices compared to Paris, of course, 3 times lower. Example, same apartment, 40, not same apartment, close to 40 square meters. Let's look. Wow. 46 square meters, 200,000 euro. You can see amazing view and amazing balcony where you can live like a French style of life, and it looks amazing. Chicken looks quite simple. Chicken again. What's happened with my language? Kitchen. I need to think in a vegan way to become more vegan. Yes, but I like that view and these windows. It looks quite nice. And wow, I love this view. I love this view for sure. You can find a lot of people and you can hear how your neighbors will argue just without any reason, like throw away, like in Italian style example. Yes, I like this. You can find here a little toilet, bathroom, and it looks simple. To be honest, $200,000 it is a lot, but here you're paying more for location. It looks like this. This price, of course, 200,000. Come on, it is a lot. Of course, it is a lot. Can I visit online, like live 3D? You can see I'm uploading. We will check. Yes, 200,000 it is a lot, but it looks quite amazing. Wow, that's how 3D tour. Wow, I like this 3D tour. Yes, it is like live. On one hand, you can, when you go inside of this, you can see kitchen on the right, and on the left it is toilets. One thing which I do not like, I do not see here doors. They do not have doors to the toilet. Maybe it's like supposed to be like one person is living, but if you have guests, okay. To the kitchen, okay, you do not have, but still. But to the toilet, here you can see one room. Here you can see another. Let's look. I do not see any doors. It's strange. Strange thing. Green Sark, happy to see you. IGNGER. Have no idea what it means, but wishing you Roger Klotz. Happy to see you too, Roger. It's nice to see you. Let's look. Yes, it looks amazing. It looks small a little. Yes, they have two doors. Just I didn't see from other angle. To the toilet, yes, now Alex can calm down. They have doors to the toilets for $200,000, not dollars, but yeah, amazing. I like this. Anyway, it was, I think, enough for today. I hope that for you it was interesting. What is happening, people? Aspera Gasso. What is happening? Yes. Anyway. For me, this, I don't know what is happening in our chat, in our community. People writing, Peter Griffin, what are you doing? Just letters. Okay, I understand this. They're probably spammers. For sure, thank you, Lisa Marshall. But at this moment, I think it is more than enough for today for live stream. And I believe that it was kind of informative live stream for me at least. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate your time. We did today a lot of interesting things. And one of the things we were trying to understand a little bit more about France. We were trying to understand a little bit more about culture of this country. And for me, I think it was interesting. It was interesting to find out. But Yes, I appreciate your support. It was amazing. I wish you to be yourself. I wish you to, yes, to try to improve yourself if you want. Yes, hope that for you it was interesting and a live stream about France. I'm sure that in future I will return to this topic somehow. It would be nice, but as for now, thank you for your support. I want to remind again, thank you Sam Smith Q for Netgear which you bought, because I will use this Netgear for live streams outside when I will be doing live streams, example from the parks or different locations. I'm sure it will be amazing, and I hope that it will improve this Netgear for us quality of connection, because it was cost like $1,000 this Netgear, where I will put my SIM card, and anyway it was for me enjoyable. Hello to Kelly, hello to France doesn't have indoor heating. I do not see. They have this. They have this radiator. I see this in picture. Looks like they, yeah. But it will be for another live stream. For today, it is more than enough. At this moment, I'm wishing you all of the best. My advice for you: be yourself, be strong, respect yourself, yeah, be you, and yeah, the most important. I'm hugging you, wishing you all of the best, and see you next time.